You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, and we are doing a little video component for this podcast episode. I'm not going to be doing it for every single episode, but if you guys love it, if you love this component to watch it on YouTube, let me know in the comments and I will make sure to do more of them. So we are going to be diving into today what my habits and routines are as a multiple six-figure coach. This episode was inspired by a question that one of my one-to-one clients asked me, and let me just say I freaking love answering questions like this because I think I talked about this in my broadcast channel at some point, but you don't hire somebody because you want to know like the steps of what they do, right? Like you want to know like why they do what they do and what the thinking is behind it. And you want to be shown what somebody is doing so you can decide to adopt it for yourself or not. So I love answering these kinds of questions, and because when I was growing my business and was trying to make money and sign clients, I would look at my coaches and try and emulate what they were doing. Like, I don't mean copying them, right? Like copying their content or having businesses like theirs, even though sometimes that's what unconsciously would happen if I didn't have my own confidence, but that's a whole other story. But I'm talking about how I would figure out how they took care of themselves, what their mindset routines were, and paying attention to those little things that contributed to their energy and how they showed up. And now that I'm a successful coach myself, I really feel like I know what works for me in all areas of my life and my business. And I know what leads me to make 5 figures a month consistently. The client that asked me this question had their highest month ever in December at 22.5K, and I'm so fucking proud of her. And a big reason why she's so successful is she takes the coaching, she takes the action, she decides what works for her and leaves the rest, and she moves. And that is the fucking vibe inside of my coaching. I love a woman that just takes action no matter how unsure she's feeling, how unconfident she's feeling, and because she just knows that she's going to be successful, right? So let's start talking about how you can create this too, and let's dive into today's episode topic about the habits and routines that I use that have led me to create a multiple six-figure business. So first I want to take you through a rundown of my morning routine because it literally sets the tone for my entire day. It isn't anything too insane, don't worry, but I try to wake up between 7 to 8 on weekdays. Now I'm a sleep girly, okay? Like I love sleeping in so freaking much, but I just noticed how much better I felt, how much more I got done, which is huge, and how different my mood was throughout the day when I woke up at a decent time. I have ADHD, and if I sleep in too late, I can't go to bed at a decent time the next night, and it just fucks up my whole sleep schedule, you know? So even though it's not my favorite thing in the world, I try to wake up between 7 and 8 a.m. And then I do pet parent things. So I take Hugo out and I feed him and Chester. And then I read a nonfiction book for 15 minutes because I'm doing 75 soft right now. And I'll read while I'm drinking a protein shake to get that 30 grams of protein in. And I'm doing this because TikTok told me to. In all seriousness, because even though I know a protein shake is not a meal, it's really helped balance out my cortisol level so I'm not being awake for a long time without eating something. So after that, I'll go on my walking pad, and in the summer, I'll take an actual walk, and I walk for about 45 minutes, and this is also a part of my 75 soft. I do this every day, and it is crazy how much better my days are because of getting this movement in the morning. So for real, I just feel better when I get moving in the morning, and I love to habit stack. So I started doing my EFT tapping while I'm on my walking pad, and then I'll listen to a self-talk track from this membership that I'm in. So now here's where I want you to pay attention, okay? I have an app on my phone called Screen Zen, and shout out to my client Lauren in the Fraud Squad Mastermind for introducing me to it, but it does not allow me to go on social media until noon, right? Like the screen time thing on your actual iPhone, it's too easy to like just decide to go on the apps, but with Screen Zen, like it tells you have to put in an intentional reason and it locks it for a certain amount of seconds. So you really have to think about like, do I really want to open this? You can't just like click something and then it's open, right? And we do that so unconsciously, we don't even realize, but having this app has really helped me just be like, oh yeah, I'm not going on this even in the morning. And it helps me continue with that routine in the morning and helps me be way more like proactive to my day, to my task list, instead of just like scrolling on social media, getting lost because I have ADHD again. Like it's really easy to get caught up in scrolling and seeing all the things. So Screen Zen has been amazing. And so I am doing all my walking, all of these things without being on social media until noon, without checking client messages until noon. And this is a game changer. It's so good for your brain. It's so good for your mood. And I don't want to call you bitches out or anything, but I bet your mood gets really crappy when you're on Instagram first thing in the morning and you don't see any inquiries or you don't see any emails saying somebody has paid you. So we want to shift our energy first, and that is the whole point of that. And we want to be on the offense instead of the defense. Screen Zen is the GOAT. I've been loving it. And like I said, the screen time on my phone was just too easy to dismiss. So Screen Zen makes you work for it, and I just like it more. So I'm always doing something to regulate my nervous system and get ahead of the day before I get on social media. And EFT tapping is my favorite thing. I usually tap to Ala Darling, love her, and I have a couple of her courses that she's done, and there's tons of YouTube things that you can do as well. And this just gets me so fucking hype, you guys. Like I'm releasing stagnant energy and then focusing on what I'm creating every single day as I'm moving. So I'm reaffirming my goals, I'm overriding any fears or doubts or limiting beliefs. And I do this too when I use my LED red light face mask. And I'll journal during this time. So after I'm done walking and doing EFT tapping, then I'll use my red light face mask and I'll journal. And again, this is just a focused time where it's about me, my goals, and what I'm creating. And I have always done this, you guys. I've always done this. When I was working full time and also building my business, I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and journal for like 5 minutes because that's all I could handle, and do a little quickie meditation or something like that. And I didn't have a lot of time. And to be honest, I hated having to go into work every day, but I was building something, and I knew that if I did these things, it set me up for having a better, more productive day. And I was also more successful in my business because of it. So let's do a check-in here. Are you doing something for your mental and your emotional health every day, even if it's just for 5 fucking minutes, right? And this is because an online business owner whose job it is to show up online, your energy is fucking everything. It is everything. Not only that, but emotionally and spiritually, you emit a frequency when you show up, and your audience can feel that. And it's infused in your content. So take back your control over what's determining your mood and be fucking intentional with your energy. You want your energy to call in the person who's the best fit for working with you, right? And honestly, your emotional resilience is everything as a fucking entrepreneur. So you need to be able to handle yourself. You are a human with human emotions, but a negative emotion does not always equal a negative mood, right? Like you can have a negative emotion, but it doesn't have to mean that you feel that way for the entire day. So you can usually see the trigger for what that is, and then you do your nervous system regulation exercises, and then you move through to the other side. So beyond my morning routine, I also go to the gym and work out a couple times a week. I just feel better and less chaotic when I do that, less stressed when I take care of my body. And I'm turning 32 this month, and I get married this year. So you know that I am full on skincare girling it, wellness girling it, working out, doing all the things. Like I said, I have a red light mask. I bought a sauna suit, which has been so cool. It's from Amazon. And my sister gave me an acupressure mat that her boyfriend wasn't using. Totally manifested the fuck out of that. And we are just in our peak wellness era. I just think it makes you such a well-rounded human and makes you feel like you're treating your body and your mind right. Hi guys, so I'm just dropping into the middle of this episode to let you know how you can work with me this month. So like I said, it's my birthday this month. I turned 32 on March 21st. I am an Aries girly, and this year I decided to do something so fucking fun and do a motherfucking birthday sale. So literally everything will be 32% off. My courses, my bundles, the Fraud Squad Mastermind, Voxer coaching, and my private coaching. In fucking sane, right? So the sale runs from now until Friday, March 22nd, the day after my birthday, until midnight. So this is the best fucking time for you to come into the Fraud Squad Mastermind if you're scaling to 10K months, or into private coaching if you are wanting to consistently create 10 to 20K months. These are my highest level spaces where you will step into your next level of income and the identity that requires you to hit that next income level. We do everything at the next level in these spaces. We do the mindset, the messaging, content, sales, so you can hit your next 10K month, your next 15K month, your next 20K month, and learn how to do it consistently while growing into the woman and powerhouse that you're meant to fucking be. So head to the show notes, and the link in my bio will take you to the birthday sale page, and you can take your pick of all of my offers with 32% off up until Friday, March 22nd. And like I said, now is the best time for you to jump into these higher ticket offers, which are the Fraud Squad Mastermind and private coaching, or even Voxer coaching. I can't wait to work with you. Let's get back to the episode. Strategically speaking now, as a bitch with ADHD, if it's not written down, it's not legit. It's not legit up here. I use the Reminders app in my iPhone for fucking everything. If you guys could see it, you'd be like, you are the typist A that have ever typed A. For real. So I have been making lists since I was a little girl because I didn't know I had ADHD or anxiety, and I knew that I would forget something if I didn't write it down. Like, I made lists to go to sleepovers so I didn't forget anything, you guys. And I haven't changed. I have a business to-do list, a personal to-do list, a 75 soft list, an everyday task and weekly task list, and then I have a today list. Okay, let's focus today on the today list, which I wipe clean every single evening, and then I restart it every single morning. I'll take 5 minutes in the morning and I will write out each task, each appointment in order, and it includes everything. It includes like feed pets, take Hugo out, read for 15 minutes, walk for 45 minutes, gym, call at 2 p.m. with client, call at 3 p.m. with client. It just keeps me in check throughout the day, or I would honestly wander around aimlessly. I swear to you. So this may seem rigid to you, but listen, if you click the 3 dots on your Reminders tab and select Show Completed, you'll be able to check off your task and then see everything that you've accomplished that day, and that just does something to the brain. I know that there has to be some kind of like science behind this, and I'm telling you, it keeps me so on track and I feel so accomplished even after the smallest thing. I think a big reason why I get so much done too is because, first of all, I'm a fucking generator in human design. It's just what I do, but I am real with myself about what I can and can't take on, and then I outsource where I can. I'm currently contemplating more video content on YouTube, but I'm not jumping into it just yet. But with TikTok, I didn't feel like I could take on anything more before I really started to get into it in January, like of this year. And if you actually look at my TikTok, you will see that I have posted some videos here and there over the past couple of years of having a TikTok, but I never really could take it seriously because I just couldn't understand how I would fit it into my content creation schedule. So I figured out a way for it to work for me, and that looked like batch recording TikToks instead of trying to upload 2 or 3 a day in real time. So for those of you who know me, I am not somebody that is good at doing things in real time other than Instagram stories and Instagram lives. So basically anything that actually requires you to be live. So instead, I love batch recording and then scheduling things out. So you really have to find a rhythm that works for you when it comes to your schedule and your tasks. And I don't even outsource like too much to my virtual assistant, truly, but I do outsource the things that I'm just not skilled at that would take me forever if I did them. So outsource where it makes sense and develop systems for your personal life and your business. You don't need to be balls to the wall, organized like I am, but you run a fucking business, bitch, right? Like, we are making money, we're working with clients, and our business deserves our best fucking selves. The way that I take care of myself and the routines and the habits that I implement in my life are a foundational piece to why I believe I'm so successful. Taking care of my emotional health, my physical health, my mindset only helps me be the best business owner that I can be, and also just makes me the best human that I can be. When you decide to run an online business, you also go down the road of the biggest evolution that you will ever experience in your life. If you're in the entrepreneurial game and you're not growing or you're not changing as a human, you really have to be committed to personal growth when you own an online business, because you're going to be feeling so many different emotions. You're going to be challenged emotionally and mentally. You really have to build your resilience in so many different ways, and being an entrepreneur is really just a big personal development journey that you actually love to be on. So if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, if you're not seeing the success that you want to see, I want you to take a look at yourself and really check in with, are you taking care of your emotional, physical, and your mental health? Especially when it comes to your mental health. You guys have heard me talk about having ADHD and having anxiety, and I've told you my whole journey about being diagnosed with ADHD and generalized anxiety disorder. And I know that in order to be the best kind of business owner that I can be, I also have to do the work to manage my own mental health. And I just want you to know that it's totally possible for you to be successful, to make a lot of money, to sign clients that you love working with within a business that you love. And you can keep up even with ADHD or other mental health issues. Like, it's actually so amazing that you can have a successful, profitable business even with anxiety, even with ADHD. So give yourself that grace, but also know that, like, you are responsible for taking care of yourself too. So when you do these things, you will also realize how strong you are. You will realize how amazing it is that you take care of yourself and that you are committed to personally developing at all times. And this will only strengthen your self-trust and your resilience as an online business owner. So I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I want you to use this episode as a touch point for you to check in with yourself and check in with your own self-care and self-love as an entrepreneur, and see if it can use some improving. Because when this just becomes who you are, you make money, you sign clients, you hit your goals, because it's just who you are now, a powerful ass bitch. Okay, so again, I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at Your Coach Jill. See you next time.